The renaming of this facility today is quite fitting and timely. It will serve as a perpetual reminder of the life and work of a phenomenal woman in the field of education throughout the Federation and a lasting family legacy. What else is the name of Vanta Walters associated with? Permit me to share a few. Visionary. She always looked ahead, and even now she looks ahead. Excellence, and a woman of elegance. Meticulous. Mrs. Walters approached her work like Sherlock Holmes. And amen. And the national anthem will be done by the Industrial Site Daycare Center Choir. Thank you very much. You may be seated. And indeed, the children did a wonderful job. The words in that song were articulated very clearly. And that caused me to remember when the national anthem came up first. I was working at a private preschool. And there was this little boy singing his heart out. Now, he had an uncle named named Joe, and his dad named Winston. So when we got to the part with wisdom and truth, with Winston and Joe, and then when we got to the part, no sword, no spear can conquer, no sword, the corn calls. So hats off to those children this morning. They articulated the words in that song clearly. Yes, that's good. The Bible says when we train them, the training will not depart from them. Give God thanks for that. At this time, we'll move on with reflections on the school's history, and this will be done by Miss Andrea Liddy, resource teacher and former supervisor. Pleasant good morning, everyone. May I adopt, Madam Chair, the protocol that has been so ably established. It is indeed an honor and privilege to reflect on the history of what we now proudly rename the Vanta E. Walters Daycare Center. This center was formed from a profound commitment to serve the children and working families on the industrial site and surrounding communities by providing a safe, nurturing, and developmentally enriching environment for young learners. The story of this institution is rooted in transformation. In 1990, the center was still under construction when Mistress Vanta Walters, or esteemed honoree, joined the effort. Under her guidance, the structure not only reached completion, but was thoughtfully modified to meet the unique needs of early childhood education. She was not only a leader, but also a visionary. She saw not just walls and windows, but potential. Under her guidance, the structure was transformed into a purpose-built haven for early childhood development. She advocated for thoughtful changes, small details that made a big difference in the lives of little ones. By 1991, the Industrial Site Daycare Center was officially opened. By 1993, the Industrial Site Daycare Center was officially opened under her guidance. Children were recruited, uniforms were introduced, and staff were hired, laying the foundation for a center that would grow into a model of excellence in early childhood care. Over the years, the facility underwent several renovations to maintain its relevance and standards. One major milestone was in 2018, when significant renovations and roof repairs were completed. This led to the reopening of the St. Kitts Spectrum Center, a service dedicated to children with autism and other developmental delays. On September 4, 2018, the former sick bay was thoughtfully and repurposed as the Spectrum Center base, a testament to our unwavering commitment for inclusivity, accessibility, and progress. Today, the Industrial Site Daycare Center stands proudly as the largest early childhood facility in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, with a licensed capacity to serve up to 150 children and a dedicated team of 48 staff members. Our expansive facility boasts 4 preschool classrooms, a multi-purpose main hall that also serves as a training room, a well-equipped kitchen, a Nursery 1 and Nursery 2 section. These spaces, designed with care and intention, embody decades of dedication, vision, and unwavering service. Throughout its history, the center has flourished under the leadership of exceptional supervisors, each leaving their unique mark. Today, we proudly acknowledge their contributions. Miss Rosalind Warner, our very first supervisor, followed by Miss Gemma Bess, then myself, Andrea Liddy, Mistress Diana John, and Mistress Aisha Bryan Bass, our current supervisor. To all former assistant supervisors and resource teachers who have walked through these halls, we say a heartfelt thank you. Your tireless contributions have helped shape this institution into the vibrant, inclusive, and impactful center it is today. As we rename this center in honor of a true pioneer, Mistress Vanta E. Walters,
Let us not only celebrate her legacy, but also reaffirm our collective commitment to the children and families we serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Liddy, for that insight. And while being the coordinator of our director of the early childhood unit, I recall Mrs. Vanta Walters sort of unofficially dubbed this center as a training site, the official training site for early childhood workers, where numerous workshops were held. So it officially became the training site. Unless there was something else different, we would move to another location. But this was a hub for our training sessions in early childhood. I can also recall when we had one of our training sessions for primary school teachers to help, we call it transition program. And that again, I told Mrs. Walters, a visionary. And she looked through the annals of what was happening and realized that the children leaving preschool going into big school had a rough time to settle. So the transition program came into being. And I can recall one of the training sessions that we had. A teacher, seasoned teacher in primary school, she said to me after the workshop was held, I was sitting there waiting to see the officials them from overseas come in. But when I saw you all come in, it was Mrs. Walters, myself, resource teachers, Mrs. Warner Otto, Mrs. Morris, and Mrs. Wallace. All of us dressed alike in uniform, and that was a brainchild of Mrs. Walters. When we have our official settings, we came in our uniform. And so she said to me, when I saw you all come in there in your uniform, I said, what? With this thing big? So she was anticipating the trainers to come from overseas. And she was awed to realize that the trainers were local and headed by the famous Mrs. Vanta Walters, the woman on the move. And so we move right along. In early childhood, there's no dull moment. So at this time, we'll have a little excitement from the Industrial Site Daycare Center drama team, and they will be doing for us a skit. Let's encourage them. Let's encourage them.
Duh.
truth be told, it's not easy to come and stand on stage and perform. And as seasoned as I am in doing this, sometimes I'm on stage and I shake like a leaf. So he ain't only shaking the balling. So we understand. I want to pause at this time to acknowledge His Excellency Ambassador Sam Terence Conda in our presence. Sir. And the former lady who we celebrated last week.
At all levels, those who have retired and are here to lend their support, the media houses, our various supervisors, and allow me to recognize Miss Adelaide Stanley, who did the invocation, because I remember when I started my teaching journey in 1990 at the Academy School, she also supervised me. So thank you very much. Miriam White, Elderman, an activist for civil and children's rights, once said, "Education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it." Today is a truly special day of education in our Federation, as we gather to pay tribute to and honor Mrs. Vanta E. Walters for her selfless dedication to children and families of this Federation by renaming the industrial site Daycare Center to the Vanta E. Walters Daycare Center. This is more than just placing a name on a building. We are celebrating an extraordinary legacy. Mrs. Walters has played a critical role in the transforming early childhood education in St. Kitts and Nevis over the past 50 years. Her vision, dedication, and leadership have shaped a system that stands as a shining example in our region. When Mrs. Walters took on the role of National Early Childhood Development Coordinator in 1990, early childhood education was still in its teething stage and required standardizing in areas, quality, and accessibility. Fast forward 20 years, and we see an organized system, one built on national policies, clear licensing processes, strong curriculum guidelines, and well-supported educators, all working together to give our children the best possible start in life. This transformation was not accidental. Mrs. Walters was bold, strategic, relentless in her pursuit of excellence. She formed powerful international partnerships, securing funding and support from organizations like UNICEF, OAS, and several global initiatives. Her ability to bring in resources helped our country leap forward in early childhood education in ways we never imagined possible. But Mrs. Walters did more than introduce big ideas. She made sure they worked for our people. She adapted global best practices to suit the unique needs of St. Kitts and Nevis, ensuring that every change truly benefited our children, parents, and educators. Thanks to her leadership, our nation became the first in the Caribbean to establish a full licensing system for early childhood centers. And I repeat, our nation St. Kitts and Nevis became the first in the Caribbean to establish a full licensing system for early childhood centers. She also understood the importance of using research to drive progress. Her groundbreaking study on the economics of early childhood education from 2010 to 2012 set the stage for continued investment in our youngest citizens. Her ability to connect policy, practice, and research helped create an education system that does not just survive, it thrives. Even after her retirement, the system she built have continued to grow and improve. The policies she championed have been strengthened, and the standards she set have become more rigorous, ensuring that early childhood education remains a top priority in our country. Perhaps one of Mrs. Walters' greatest achievements was changing the way we view early childhood education. She helped elevate the role of educators from simple caretakers to respected professionals. She made it clear that early childhood educators were not babysitters. Therefore, our centers needed to be supervised by trained educators who would aptly mentor and instruct staff as they lay the foundation for long, and I stress on that, lifelong learning. Today, early childhood education is recognized as an integral part of our national development strategy. Her impact goes far beyond our borders. Through her involvement in regional councils, conferences, and initiatives, she made sure the voice of St. Kitts and Nevis was heard every time. She showed that even small nations can lead the way in educational innovation. Mrs. Walters also proved that true leadership is about consistency, professionalism, and commitment. Throughout her tenure, she remained focused on what mattered most, the well-being and education of our children. As we look ahead, we have every reason to be optimistic, as our federation remains a forerunner in the region to achieve universal access to quality early childhood education. The strong systems she developed will continue to guide us forward, ensuring that every child can learn, grow, and succeed. Mrs. Walters, your contributions to our federation exemplify what renowned educational philosopher John Dewey meant when he observed that education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. Through your 40 years of dedicated service, you have shaped not just the educational trajectories of countless children, but the very life and character of our nation. It is therefore with profound gratitude and immense pride that I now formally declare and rename this facility as the Vanta E. Walters Daycare Center. May this center continue to embody the principles of excellence, innovation, and child-centered development that have defined Mrs. Walters' extraordinary career. And may all who enter these doors, children, parents, educators, and community members, be inspired, ensuring that every child in our federation receives a quality early childhood education they deserve. May God continue to bless and guide this institution and all who enters its doors. May it flourish in purpose, excellence and service for generations to come. Thank you again, Mrs. Walters, and may God continue to bless you with wisdom, strength, and grace. May His guidance remain with you always as you inspire and uplift those around you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Minister, and I'm sure we all do appreciate the accolades that were showered on Mrs. Walters because they were true and just. Yes, I can recall I told Mrs. Walters a woman of details and meticulous. And I can recall when we were planning for one of the Child Month March, Atnell can be a witness to this. We were in the building across from the Red Cross building.
Some things I just never fade. No. Story of my life, ordinary person just like you. If you take a look inside, see the great things that people do. Nothing I do ever makes the news. Still I have to do what's right to the King of all kings. All praises due. Yesterday I was on a train. A little boy asked me my name. He said, "Sir, I've seen you before. Tell me who are you?" Said I am a legend that you never heard of before. I said I am a lion, but he never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, that means I made a change. I'm the man who cooks the food, feed the street people in the afternoon. I'm the lady with the broom, sweeping the halls of the sunscreen. I'm the soldier who's up all night, making sure everything's alright. If you ask me, I'm quite fine, being an ordinary person, doing what's right. Yesterday at the football game, a little girl asked me my name. She said, "Sir, I've seen you before, tell me who are you?" I said I am a legend that you never heard of before. Said I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, that means on the ocean of fame I'm an unknown sailor. I'm the percussionist playing with the whalers, the one with the shaker, the mover and shaker. My name wasn't on the front of the paper, but me not cater. Much more than the work is greater. Creation glorifies creator. So all needs done are in the name of my maker. I am a legend that you probably never hear about. Heard from the lion's mouth. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But my life, ordinary person just like you. If you take a look inside, you see the great things that people do. We're out here changing lives day and night, day in, day out. BBC don't show it, CNN don't show it. He's out. Some things are just never said. No. If you take a look inside, see the great things that people do. Change your life.
Come on, let's hear some more applause for the children. And I was distracted a while ago because I was about to do one of those moves. And because I was distracted, the music stopped. So I will put it up for the next renaming ceremony. Because I have to practice. Listen, as I sat there and I observed those children, my mind started racing back to my childhood years at that age. Those of you who are young like me, if I take off this hat off me head, you know what I'm talking about. Yes. Hey, Teacher June, welcome. I'm just seeing you. Yes, we call each other Paddy. When I was those age, Mr. Conda, what is we used to be doing? Run up and down without shoes, playing in dirt. What we call shul in the knock. What we know about that? You understand? We ain't had, it's not that we didn't have the brain, but it's just that those weren't the things that we've been focused on at that time. And I must say, 3, 4 and 5 year olds, 3 and 4, 5 year olds doing something like that without an adult giving directions. Come on, people, come on. That's not easy feat. That's not easy feat. And that tells me the power of a child's mind. So we have to be very careful how we groom our children. If they can do that without an adult telling them what to do, they can do just about anything that is positive and will be beneficial, not just to them, the parents, but the country on a whole. Yes. We'll move on and we'll continue with the children performing the skit and acoustic. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a vehicle P5930. P5930. You're parked somewhere in the TDC area and you're blocking entrance and exit. You're blocking movement. Please go and move your vehicle. P5930.
I'm making a big hat. Teacher said, Mrs. Vanta wants to have a big hat. Yes. Vanta wants us to all the children. Make sure we have a beautiful school to learn and play.
Yes.
I'm going to write thank you. Teacher said she has the best classroom. She brought books to make sure we have talk. That's right. Our school ain't got all now.
Yes.
Vanta Water Station Center. I'm going to write thank you right here. Me too. Thank you for loving children like us.
Yay.
one of them said, Mrs. Vanta Walters love all the childrens. It's true? It's true. Can't be all the children. All the childrens. We want to at this moment acknowledge the arrival of the Honorable Mr. Timothy Harris, representative of constituency number 7. Thank you for coming, sir. All right, we'll continue. The acoustic, they're ready for the acoustic? Okay, they're on their way. So we are waiting for 2 more children who were part of the dance to come along. Now, Mrs. Walters believed in training, as was indicated earlier. And I can recall under Mrs. Leonie James, persons were sent to Trinidad at Solval for training, but it was just preschool teachers. And as I said before, and Minister Hanley also mentioned, and Miss Liddy, Mrs. Walters is a visionary. And so she upped the ante in training for early childhood workers. She sent not just preschool teachers, but nursery workers as well. And she didn't send them separately. They went together. So you had 2 batches, the nursery workers and the preschool teachers. And I talk about being particular and meticulous. Before going to server, all the candidates were summoned to Mrs. Walters' office. And they were given their motherly advice. And we were told to remember and to keep our focus, but not to focus. Remember our purpose, but not our think about a matching, a rhyming word. Remember your purpose and your focus. But the other matching word begins with the letter P. But hear what? That other rhyming word is for when we having snack. So you could throw back your head and laugh. Now this is a dignified ceremony. Isn't that so? Yes, so I'm told when you're in a dignified setting and you have to laugh, you can't throw back your head and throw up your hand and so on and laugh. You have to laugh. So the other rhyming word I will say for the refreshment session. Yes. And so Mrs. Walters would have sent us off in dual groups. And I can recall when it was my turn, and one of the things she did, she made sure that the participants, the candidates, were very comfortable. And when I say very comfortable, I'm referring to money. Ensure that they had enough money. So she sought assistance from UNICEF, and each person were given their sums of money. At that time you could have traveled with money, you know, like that. And we were advised when you get there, make sure you open your bank account and save your receipts. If you buy something on the shop, at the
from a vendor. May the Lord help you to get a receipt for that. And so some persons, they got a little notebook and they would write, when they buy from the vendor, Mrs. Lady Pistana, they would write down they bought whether it was roti or bus up shut or whatever, and they would write it down in their little book, because we were told that an account of every penny spent had to be given to UNICEF. And I tell you, that's not a joke, and it is not exaggerated. It is a fact. Because Mrs. Walters would sit down till morning nearly come behind her desk, and she is a person who believes in old school. Don't tell her nothing about no computer. She wants everything in writing. If you think of telling her, she knows them right there. Don't tell her nothing about no computer. She said, them there does throw you off, because you don't put your thing together, next thing you can't open, you can't find this. Paper never fail. Those are direct words. Paper never fail. So she would sit behind her desk, and she would script everything that the candidates brought back from server. And if it took her to 2 o'clock in the morning, when she go home, she will continue until she got the records clear. Very meticulous. Are the dancers ready? The dancers, yeah.
Truly, the accolades are many and well deserved. I did my best to keep this speech as short as possible, but when someone has done so much, even the shortest tribute can feel long. So bear with me as I try to do justice to a remarkable journey in just a few words. This tribute to Mrs. Vanta Walters will be done in 2 parts. Part 1. The greatest legacy one can pass to one's children and grandchildren is not money, nor material things accumulated in one's life, but rather a legacy of character and faith. Billy Graham. Today, we gather under the radiant banner of gratitude to celebrate a legend, a woman whose life's work has not just shaped policies, but sculpted futures, a visionary who turned whispers of potential into roars of achievement. Let your hands be ready, your voices be loud, for we are here to honor Mrs. Vanta Eladine Walters, our nation's irreplaceable architect of early childhood brilliance. Mrs. Vanta Eladine Walters, affectionately known as the mother of early childhood, is not merely an educator. She is a visionary whose imprint on our nation's educational landscape will be felt for generations to come. Her story is one of unwavering dedication, remarkable innovation, and extraordinary leadership that spans an illustrious 40-year career. Born and raised in our beautiful Twin Island Federation, Mrs. Walters' own educational journey began at St. Johnston Village Elementary School, continued through Tabernacle All-Age School and Molyneux All-Age School, before culminating at Bastille Senior Secondary School in 1970. Little did our nation know that this young graduate would go on to revolutionize our approach to education and transform countless young lives. In 1970, Mrs. Walters embarked on her remarkable professional journey as an infant teacher at the then St. Johnston Village Primary School, now known as the Dr. William Connor Primary School, where her exceptional talents quickly became evident. Within just 4 years, She was appointed head of the infant department and deputy head of the school, positions she held with distinction for 16 years, totaling 20 years of service. During this period, she served 1 year as acting head teacher at Irish Town Primary School before returning to her leadership roles at Dr. William Connor Primary School. During this formative period of her career, Mrs. Walters demonstrated her versatility by simultaneously serving as school broadcasting officer at the Ministry of Education and even finding time to teach at the Joseph N. France General Hospital Children's Ward. Her compassion knew no bounds, extending beyond traditional classroom walls to reach children even during their most vulnerable moments. Ladies and gentlemen, it was in 1990 that Mrs. Walters assumed the mantle that would define her legacy when she was appointed National Early Childhood Development Coordinator for St. Kitts and Nevis. For 20 transformative years, she led our early childhood sector with a combination of visionary foresight, unwavering commitment, and extraordinary passion that elevated our federation's standing in the regional educational community. Serving as UNICEF local coordinator, she masterfully orchestrated all UNICEF activities in our federation, bringing crucial resources and international best practices to our shores. The breadth and depth of Mrs. Walters' contribution to education are nothing short of extraordinary. She personally conducted and coordinated countless training workshops for nursery workers, preschool teachers, parents, and administrators. She observed and assessed interns, lectured on child development at various institutions, including the St. Kitts and Nevis Division of Teacher Education, and produced educational radio programs that reached into homes across our federation. Her influence extended beyond our shores, and she represented St. Kitts and Nevis as a delegate to the Directing Council of the Inter-American Children Institute for nearly 2 decades, elevating our nation's voice in regional educational policy discussions. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for these remarkable contributions. But Mrs. Walters' greatest legacy lies in her pioneering initiatives that fundamentally transformed early childhood in our federation. She spearheaded the development and implementation of the first licensing process for early childhood centers in the Caribbean region, an achievement that positioned St. Kitts and Nevis as a regional leader in quality assurance for early education. She created comprehensive monitoring checklists, developed new policies, prepared curriculum guides, and established minimum standards that ensured every child in our federation would receive quality early education. Mrs. Walters' vision extended to the most vulnerable in our society through her innovative preschool expansion program for children 3 to 5 years and the groundbreaking Reaching Children Where They Are program for our youngest citizens from birth to 3 years. Another of her innovative programs was the intensive Better Parenting training offered to parents across communities in both St. Kitts and Nevis. Upon completion, participants received certificates during formal graduation ceremonies. These initiatives, components of her visionary Reaching the Unreached program, ensured that no child would be left behind in our educational journey. Under her stewardship, the Ministry of Education approved her recommendations to construct several new early childhood centers in communities and constituencies previously without such facilities. Existing centers across our federation saw dramatic improvements in both physical environments and personnel qualifications. Her resourcefulness in securing funding for these ambitious projects was nothing short of miraculous. Mrs. Walters successfully secured significant funding through proposals to the Organization of American States, UNICEF, the Japanese Grassroots Project, the German Embassy, and the Venezuela's Rural Expansion Project. These partnerships enabled our small nation to implement world-class early childhood initiatives. The excellence of these programs attracted delegations from several countries to observe our federation's approach and led to Mrs. Walters being invited internationally to conduct training and showcase the St. Kitts and Nevis early childhood experience. Mrs. Walters was known for her signature big, broad hat, a striking emblem of leadership that became a defining feature of every Child Month parade she led. Under her leadership, a particularly notable Child Month emphasized fathers' essential role in their children's lives. Throughout that month, fathers took on caregiving responsibilities traditionally handled by mothers. A key event was the Fathers Only Parade, where fathers marched proudly at the front, reinforcing their role as primary caregivers. Mothers who wished to attend had to march at the back, ensuring the spotlight remained on fatherhood. Mrs. Walters' leadership left a lasting impact, celebrating the significance of fathers in shaping their children's futures. Ladies and gentlemen, this level of achievement deserves our most enthusiastic recognition. Beyond her professional accomplishments, Mrs. Walters has been a pillar of service. Through her mentorship on numerous boards and committees, she served on the Probation and Child Welfare Board, the UNESCO Education Committee, the Ministry of Education Program Budgeting Committee, the National Education Committee, and the Task Force for Children and Youth with Disabilities, among many others. Her dedication to the teaching profession is further exemplified by her 40-year membership in the St. Kitts Teachers Union, including service as an executive and trustee. She also represented the union as a delegate at the Caribbean Union of Teachers CUT conference. Therefore, it comes as no surprise that Mrs. Walters' exceptional contributions have been recognized with a constellation of prestigious honors. In 2016, she received the Independence Medal of Honor for her work in education and early childhood. She has been honored with a Lifetime Award for service to early childhood development, officially bestowed with the title Mother of Early Childhood in 2002, and received recognition from the Organization of American States for her sterling contribution to education. The list of accolades from educational institutions, unions, and community organizations could fill volumes, each one a testament to the profound impact she has had on our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Walters' dedication to education extended far beyond her official retirement in 2010. She continued to serve as a People Employment Program, PEP, Early Childhood Development Training Facilitator from 2013 to 2016, prepared new early childhood minimum standard documents in 2012, and conducted the first comprehensive costing study for early childhood education. The Vanta E. Walters Daycare Center will stand as an enduring tribute to a woman who has given her heart, mind, and soul to ensuring that the youngest citizens of our Federation receive educational foundation they deserve. Future generations who pass through its doors will be reminded of the extraordinary woman whose vision, determination, and love for children transformed early childhood education in St. Kitts and Nevis. Mrs. Walters, we salute you. Your legacy will continue to inspire and guide us as we build upon the extraordinary foundation you have laid. You are indeed the true mother of early childhood education in our beloved Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join me in giving Mrs. Vanta Eladine Walters the standing ovation she so richly deserves. Thank you. You may be seated. And that was the short version, believe it or not. I now call on Mrs. Victorine Hanley to bring you part 2 of this tribute. Good morning, everybody. Part 2. From bold to shy. On the sand of time, knew there was something that I left behind. When I leave this world, I leave no regrets. Leave something to remember, so they won't forget I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone would know I was here. I wanna say I live each day until I died. You know that I have something in somebody's life. The hearts that I've touched will be the proof that I'll leave, that I made a difference, and this world will see I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone would know I
that I gave my all, did my best, brought someone some happiness. Let this world a little better just because I was here. I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I did, and I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone would know I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I did, I've done, I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here.
Thank you, Songbird. And the lyrics to that song spoke volume. And to Madam Director of Early Childhood, I want to thank you for your beautiful, incomplete thesis of Mrs. Vanta E. Walters. Somewhere down the road, we'll look forward to the book. At this time, I want to pause to acknowledge Mrs. Erla Esdale and husband. Can I say former early childhood colleague? Yes. Thanks for gracing us with your presence all the way from Antigua. Nice. Okay, I was told to say Antigua patterned us. I was raised by my grandmother and my great-grandmother, so I'm very obedient. Yes. And also I wish to make some amendments in terms of the overseas training that we would have received under the tutelage of Mrs. Vanta Walters. The private supervisors and the nursery workers and preschool teachers also benefited immensely from those training sessions. And one of the things Mrs. Walters always put in place for those training sessions, when she was giving the wise words of counsel, someone had to be identified as the leader of the group, and that person was saddled with the responsibility to ensure that the group stayed together, to ensure that they went to do what they were sent to do. I told you about that P rhyming word. If you stay back for the refreshments, Mr. Honorable Timothy Harris, you'll hear about it. You have to stay for the refreshments. And so we will move forward. It seems as if the children are ready with the acrostic, so they will be coming on just now. And when the children are finished with their acrostic, we'll hear the response from our honoree for today.
T is for a woman with tenacity and many talents.
Kindly stand at this time as we welcome to the podium Mrs. Vanta E. Walters to give her response. Thanks, you may be seated.
Greetings, everyone. Let me first seek permission to adopt the protocol so ably established by Madam Chairperson Valerie Dolphin. Is it okay? Thank you. A famous female author once said, "Oh, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can." I could very well understand what she meant by that expression because I have used my name for most of my life. It is on my passport. Only to be seen by others when I am traveling or when I use it as one of the identification that is requested. But to have my name mounted on a building as the name of that institution, it is understandable that it would indeed be difficult to not to feel a sense of pride and still remain humble. I am a firm believer that a person should be given their flowers, and I was given some just a while ago, while they are still alive. More often than not, honors are bestowed on persons posthumously, that is, after they have died. We often forget to appreciate people when they can still hear us, yet we flood the graves with words they will never hear nor read, and with flowers they will never see or smell. But I am standing here today very much alive and can understand and appreciate what is taking place here in my honor. I am enjoying the fragrance of my flowers. Permit me to share something with you. One Saturday morning in 1980, I had just returned home with my little daughter, who was discharged from the hospital. My husband was also recovering from an illness. I heard someone calling from outside the gate. It was Leonie James, the early childhood coordinator. She informed me that she had recommended me to pursue an early childhood course in Jamaica and that I would have to travel in a few days. My response was that I would not be able to accept the offer because of my family dynamic at the time, and also because it was at such short notice. She understood and advised me to write a formal letter to the ministry explaining my position, which I did. Exactly 10 years after that, in 1990, on a Sunday afternoon, I received a call from Mr. Livingstone James, the husband of Leonie James. He was education officer at the time. He said, "Good afternoon, Mrs. Walters. Sorry for the short notice, but you are asked to report to the early childhood unit tomorrow morning to be acting coordinator, as Mrs. James was off island at the time. She later retired." And that, ladies and gentlemen, was how my journey as the National Coordinator for Early Childhood in St. There were many serious challenges, but the successes far exceeded the challenges. I can look back with immense satisfaction at the dream team I was able to put together, who contribute significantly to the success of the early childhood sector because of their dedication, their commitment, and passion. Alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. Hence the reason for our accomplishments over the years. We are all retired now. Jacqueline Morris, June Wallace, Rosalind Warner, Valerie Dolphin, Florence Moving Smitten, Eunice Sargent, and myself, the Golden Girls. Not forgetting Deslyn Hobson, Atnell Pemberton, and Lassie Gomes. I wish to express my sincere gratitude for the part you each played in helping me to lift the early childhood banner to the sky, and for the encouragement you gave to me at times when the going was rough. I do wish all of you well in your future endeavors. To all the supervisors and staff of each early childhood facility in St. Kitts and Nevis, both private and public, thank you for your cooperation and support, even though I know at times you felt I was hard on you or a bit too strict. But you understood that I could not compromise the well-being of our nation's children. So I demanded high-quality performance. I implore you to recognize the significant role you play as early childhood educators